afraid to shout. Make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise. Fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate. Lips BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truth to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night.
Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
To episode 131 from To The Point podcast with Mike, Leo, and Vince. This is your boy Leo. Sorry I missed you guys last week. I had family in town from outside of town. It was just a last minute thing. They showed up, they swung by. So, but we're back again.
For episode 131.
For episode 131.
September 3rd. Coming
For
up
sure.
on 9/11, which before I get carried away, on 9/11 just so happens to be the second Thursday of the month, which is planned out for the Conspiracy Club. So we would typically do a show that Wednesday for To The Point, but we're going to try something different and kind of do maybe a pre-show of the Conspiracy Club on that Thursday. So you won't see our show that week, but you will catch us on the Conspiracy Club. So make sure you follow the Conspiracy Club at Rumble there, and you can go to our main channel and find all the other channels. But make sure you follow the Conspiracy Club and follow our other channels, because we'll pump it out there until we get a good following. Then it'll only be on the Rumble. So make sure you follow us on Rumble. If you're watching anywhere else, Twitter or X or Twitch or Kick or Facebook, where we're
YouTube,
streaming,
wherever.
make sure you pick us up on Rumble, man. It's a free app. It's free to follow us. You could pay if you wanted to support our cause, but you don't have to. And there's nothing exclusive there yet. But I mean, if we had some paying people, maybe Leo would put something exclusive on there, or Vince, or somebody. Sure. I don't know. But anyways, that's coming up on September 11th. You know, and it just the Conspiracy Club, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on 9/11 and Building 7 and just the history and the connections between the big players behind the scenes, or
some people might have lived there at the time that this stuff was happening, you know, that moved here, because a lot of people, you know, move around, bounce around from here to there, and mostly everybody always ends up here at the Sunshine State, here in the state of Florida. So you'd be surprised if you bump into somebody that actually lived there in New York while it happened.
Yeah, you know, everybody's got their story in 9/11. I'm really not intending this to be about that, but my connection to it was working with somebody who retired from the fire department in New York City, like at a recent time, right, when it happened, like a couple months. Like, still, it's family. He knows everybody. Yeah. And his brother was a cop. He's a New Yorker, tried and true. Doug Roy was his name. I don't know if he's still alive today, but I mean, I'm going back 20 years, so to 9/11 when I knew him, and he was there waiting for me at the restaurant to open up, and just in time to turn the TV on and see, I believe, the second plane coming in, or I might have my timing off, but it was because I was focused on him and how he was handling everything. But like, as he described what it was for him, like at the moment, like he's telling me that my brother's gone, like without taking a phone call yet, he knew his brother was gone.
He knew where he was at.
He knew because the time of day, he knew his whole department that would have been home for this time of day would have been there, and that they're gone. As soon as he seen the tower come down, he knew they were gone, and then he wasn't wrong. Not long after, he got the phone call while we're watching it there at the restaurant at the bar, and you know, he got confirmation. His brother, he was a cop, and that was his beat. He worked the street, and he was gone. And his department, who would have been home because of shift change, were on their way home when they heard the calls come in, and they went back, and they were actually in the stairwells in the first few floors, I guess. And it just wasn't a good day to see. I mean, for anybody, but to be in the room with someone that was like watching it live and
Right.
knew and felt that emptiness before they even had the confirmation. It was pretty. It was. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Mine wasn't quite that intense, but I remember I was in my senior year of high school when it happened, and we, for whatever reason, I don't remember. We didn't have much going on, and we were watching it on the news on TV at school, and I remember seeing the second plane hit the second building, and before anybody else even realized, I was like, a plane just hit the second building. Like even the reporters hadn't said anything yet. Nobody was watching it with me.
Yeah,
The
'cause it was
teacher.
live. Yeah.
And they all just thought it was a replay of the first one. I'm like, no, that was the other building. And sure enough, after about a minute, then everybody's realizing it, and it's like everybody's freaking out. I know several of the teachers that were working that day that had kids that lived in that area, and they were, freaking out whether or not maybe they could have been there when that first building collapsed. And
Yeah.
it was crazy.
It's
I remember
New York,
it
it's
like it was
Manhattan,
yesterday.
Yeah. My father's company had some offices there previous to that. It's kind of like a major office complex. So companies come and go, but a lot of people had connections to New York City when that happened. It was a pretty rough day. But there's a lot of question, a lot of, how this happened. Things like this happened before without the crumbling.
We allowed it to
major
happen.
buildings. Yeah. So, but you can catch that. You can catch more people talking about it that know a lot more about it than me.
I thought it was always.
September 11th.
I thought I would see. I was young at the time. I was in 8th grade, so whatever age that was, 14, 15. I just thought it was beef against the presidents. That's all I thought it was.
You thought it was like, like a
Beef.
war thing?
Yeah, kind of like beef.
Yeah.
Hey, I got beef on you. I'm with, like battleship wars. You know how they have the battleship war games.
I can remember.
And then all of a sudden I see it on TV. Teachers turn on the TV and then they ask them to turn it off. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the fuck it was at the time. I didn't even know these things existed.
Well, we were out of that atmosphere. Like we weren't in the, like even me.
No.
I was 21.
But now
I wasn't paying
shit,
attention
I come
to
back
politics.
and go to New
Right.
York City.
But let's say, well, here's an experiment. Let's say that happened today.
Right.
Would you, paying attention to the headlines like we do, like our international adversaries,
I would take it totally differently.
would you assume, let's say, it's Nicolas Maduro, the guy from Venezuela, or it's Putin, or it's China? I mean, would you assume it's a character right off the bat?
I don't know if I would assume it was one of the like the same kind of thing.
Bin Laden, like if you
Yeah.
seen it happen before you even knew.
I would believe it's
Like-
terrorism of
Right.
some sort from either somebody like Bin Laden. Yeah.
Right.
I would say it's some kind of drug related.
So
business.
going back that time and maybe before, you kind of heard about this kind of stuff when it came to like conflict in the Middle East, or like Europe, like Russia, Chechnya, or Ireland, and the whole civil war that was going on up that way. And they blamed terrorists and stuff like that, but I didn't know the guy's name until that day, obviously. But I vividly remember my father texted me almost right away saying they're going to blame Bin Laden. And sure enough, who was behind it, or so we were told. So yeah, there's a lot of question in that whole subject. And we're going to get more into that on September 11th at Filthy's in Vero Beach. So make sure you tune into the Conspiracy Club. You can catch that episode on TGI Now podcast page, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. Same with To The Point podcast. And like I said, it'll be on Rumble also, but it's super important you follow it on Rumble. So because a lot of this stuff is not going to fly. We might not even run the whole hour or whatever it turns up being on our Facebooks and YouTubes, because some of the stuff that's kind of controversial. So even though it's not our opinions, the algorithms might not let us bring it to you again. So we don't want to ruin
And they've
any
already
future episodes. So
they've already labeled us as not being Democrats, so they're not going to let us speak our mind.
Well, they won't let us advertise. Google will, because they know what green is. Facebook just don't give them. But anyways, besides the Conspiracy Club coming up September 11th, before then, this weekend is the Warrior Shield weekend, where they'll have the Hero Fest on Friday night and the gala on Saturday. I think there's a range day with TIG on Sunday, and there's different tiers, but there's still tickets available. If you want to just go to the concert, it's $50, and yeah, I believe if you're a veteran, you can. I believe they don't even take your money, and if they find out you paid, they might even give it back. But the Warrior Shield Foundation, they support other charities who support other veteran-based charities, nonprofits, and they vet them. So it's not going to go towards drag queen story time at your local city councilor's bar. But we do have a comment from George. Let's see what George. If you don't know who George Collin is, he is an expert in recovery, drug recovery, and he's a recovery coach, I believe. George says, take note, until this government goes all out in disseminating the cartel and China connections, they will continue killing, murdering, and Americans. I call on government to go full throttle with all our intelligence and force and destroy them. Stand up, USA. Yeah, I mean, and that leads right into one of my top stories. We'll come back to the Warrior Shield because I've got the video for the Corporal Chad O Foundation, which they're supporting. But like I asked, like that whole thing with bin Laden. Right now, there's Nicolas Maduro, who's supposedly the president or dictator of Venezuela. Trump deemed him a terrorist organization, a leader, and just over, I don't even think it was the weekend. Maybe it was over the weekend. Here is footage from, it was either the Coast Guard or the Navy. Might have even been the Air Force, but it was the U.S. military. Oh, we're getting out of line here, aren't we? Here's the drug boat. Here's the drug boat they took down. Supposedly, I saw 11 were killed or 18. It doesn't look like 11 or 18 on the boat to me, but maybe there was more to the operation. And of course, it's night vision. Look at how many motors are on that boat.
5 of them.
Yeah, and they were attempting to cross into U.S. waters, supposedly with a lot of, payload on there.
Oh shit! What happened?
A drone took them out.
They gone.
Oh, what took him out?
A U.S. drone, a military drone.
Damn, from where? Where'd the bitch come from?
It could have been
Holy fuck!
hovering 3,000 feet, 30,000 feet. Who knows? I don't know. The drone
Those
technology is kind of
Those
crazy.
military drones, Leo, they
watch it
book.
again?
They go quick.
Yeah, and they can
They'll launch it and get it there quick.
and they can go very slow.
Yeah.
And some of them are suicide drones where they just come down and where they hit. That's what you see a lot in the Russian-Ukrainian war, are those drone warfares. Come a long way.
I mean, they just blew up the whole right there. Boom, just blew them up.
Lit them up.
Man, like where was this back then? During like Pablo Escobar and all this stuff,
Well, then we depended on humans and other boats and
Holy
planes
shit.
spotting them. But yeah,
Like you literally can't be trafficking shit anymore. You literally can't be, because they're gonna get your ass regardless of whatever you do. Look at
And
that.
they never saw it coming.
So if you know George, this probably makes
look at
George happy inside to see more terrorists and more drugs. This is just a fraction, though.
Yeah, this is
Just a fraction, and now
just a little crumb.
Well,
and
what, do
here's
you
the-
know what it was? Was it fentanyl or?
I believe it was fentanyl. I mean, it could have been
Right.
other stuff. I don't know, but either way, the hard part and the hard truth is with the fentanyl, since we blocked the southern border, China is now sending its ingredients to Canada,
Mhm.
where they're producing it in Canada or smuggling the ingredients over the border and producing it here in the United States. But China is the number one culprit behind it.
Yeah.
Now, is it the Chinese government? Is it just the Chinese cartels?
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't really know that much about China, but George is an expert in recovery. George has got some connections in high up positions, and he probably has a whole lot more knowledge. So, George, if you're still listening, feel free to drop a comment.
I was actually today I was off, so I literally did nothing, and I was like watching videos of El Chapo, like how he moved his distributions from left to right, and his organizations, how he was and is moving stuff from left to right. And when you're saying about China, and that's who he would send people to China to go work for China in China and to get his ingredients. That's where most of his ingredients were coming from, and then he figured, okay, well, I can move to Canada and I could start moving shit over to Canada, and it was making it easier for him to come to the US. It was just a whole fucking mind blowing, like this guy's like knowledge and like business, like he was like on top of it. Like he was like, oh, I already have that. I already did that. Oh, you guys are just now getting on that? Like, I've been doing that for fucking years. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, they're very
it's just,
well, I mean,
it's a great, but see, you know what?
Criminals are very intuitive.
Yes, and then his whole thing is just awesome. Not awesome, but it's just like mind blowing. Like it was just one of him, but like it was just like a tree. Like, okay, well, you were in charge of this, and you were in charge of that,
system.
and everything. It all coordinated, and it all came back to him. It was like how we're trying to build, like how we are RRC Media. No, I'm just saying like we are RRC Media, but we branch out, like that branches out to different other things that we could do or that it could do,
We just got compared to El Chapo, Mike.
No. It's just
I don't have his money.
No, it's just the business, like the business that he was.
Yeah. Now imagine if he applied that to a business.
Wow. It was just.
Yeah, but like you were saying, criminals, they will always figure out a way.
Oh yeah,
they always will figure out a way. It's like some of the ways that you see them stash stuff in vehicles coming across borders, like filling tires with fentanyl,
right?
Just like inside the fenders, like just every little crevice. Like they find some freaking weird spots that you just would not.
Yeah, it was just amazing too how they moved money, because it was like everything was like in $20 bills and $100 bills and $5 bills and $20 bills.
They knew better.
So it's like everything was stacks of money, and it's like, how do you just show up somewhere and be like, oh, this is what I have loaded up in like actual paper money, So that's when the trades start coming in, and it's like, okay, well, I got this amount of money, and I'll give you this for that, and it was just mind blowing, man. It was just amazing how he like ran this whole stuff. Is just amazing.
Yeah,
smart guy.
Yeah, you got to give them. You got to give people like that credit. They are smart
people. It's just like, wow.
Too bad they're using it for the wrong thing, but
yeah. Well, some of the stuff he donated. Some of the stuff he brought up little communities. He brought them back up to nothing. So he's like a villain. If you think about it, he's like a good and a bad villain. It's just
right.
It's just crazy.
You said something about money, and that got FuryCast. I'm pretty sure it's Chris, right? Yeah, FuryCast's attention. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, George said Rubio stated today that USA will decimate and destroy any and all vessels that attempt to smuggle any drugs into the country from
for sure.
His speech. I have a speech, but I don't have it set up. Let me see. Yeah, we don't really need to hear from Marco Rubio, but he has impressed me quite a bit. I mean, I was told that was one of the picks in this administration. I was like, what are you doing?
We both felt the same way on that.
Yeah, but even being from Florida, I was like, really?
He's been a pleasant surprise. Give him credit.
But besides that, speaking of Florida, I mean, this drug boat was off the coast of Florida. Rubio's from Florida. Florida's been paving the way when it came to COVID recovery, or shielding its citizens from COVID type stuff. But now the Surgeon General had come out, and this was a speech today. I'll play for it because can't even remember his name, to be honest with you. And I read it a bunch of times, and I know he's new, but they're really going after medical freedom in Florida, and it drives the liberals crazy down here. But let's hear from him, because I'll butcher it.
What I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them.
How do you feel about that?
I
Before I
love
let him finish.
it. I love it.
So vaccines for kids, what does that have to do with you, Vince? I mean, what does it have to do with an adult like right now? I mean,
Well, I mean, it doesn't. I don't have kids, so yeah, it doesn't really. But you, Mike, as a parent, should have the option to decide whether or not you want your kids to get vaccinated.
I think what kids or not, I'll give Leo a chance to answer too, but I think whether you have kids or not, the same thing goes for the importance in a school board member that doesn't have kids. Like it's maybe you don't have kids, but I mean, the existence of our society has a lot to do with it. So I think even if somebody else's kid, I still want them to succeed. I want them to be healthy and I want them to live, right? Leo, what do you think about vaccines? One in each arm or nah?
I mean, why are we worried about vaccine all of a sudden?
Oh, well, I think a lot of this has to do with coming from the China thing. A lot of our medicine is made in China.
Right.
Not just that. Why do we mandate? Like I have a friend I've been friends with since I moved to Florida, pretty much. We didn't start out as friends, but we became really good friends. And she had a son. He's in his teens now, but he developed I'm going to butcher the name, but it's a Guillain-Barré syndrome. Mm-hmm. And kind of he had to go in like that, had to go into leg braces, had to learn how to walk, and spent most of his childhood dealing with that, doing much better through therapy and stuff like that now. And I mean, he's grown up, and I think a lot could be blamed on vaccines. Now,
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a chemist. I know a lot of this stuff doesn't even come from the U.S. We don't even know what's in it.
Right.
You hear things about mRNA and gain of function this and whatever.
Chicken
stem
pox.
cells this.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen
So,
chicken pox.
at the same
ever
time,
again.
we've got nanobites and
Yeah.
freaking
So,
satellites flying
The
around.
vaccine never went through the proper testing it needed to prove that long term it wasn't going to have side effects. How could it? They made it within a year. How could they have proved side effects long term? And then, like you said, Mike, the fact that it's coming from China, we're talking about it coming from other countries that may want to take over our country at some point, or they might want to be able to weaken us somehow. So we're going to take medicine that's coming from these people. We're going to trust them.
Exactly. So Trump's doing a lot to bring all that back. George has a good comment. A couple good comments. Pharma in ways is similar to cartels regarding pushing drugs. Free
Yeah, for
choice,
sure.
consent, parental consent is a must. That I'm on board with that. We definitely support, and it drives people crazy. Moms for Liberty, Able Child, they're both about parental rights and informed consent. And there's other groups out there too, but we work personally with both of them. And I know George does too, who's a continuing contributor on the Board Report. It's our local show. But I think there could be a case for some important cases, but like even the things that say, oh, what about polio? Well, there's always been cases, just no outbreaks and stuff like that. And I think there might be other better ways to deal with it than foreign drugs and informed consent. Like our kids got some of their vaccines, but we were definitely educated on the decision, and we weighed it out for us, what was best, and because again, there was mandates. So if I didn't, there could have been some repercussions when it comes to putting them in public school or whatnot. And they can act in some areas, it's actually illegal.
Yep.
So, which Florida might be. George says, great point. It was manufactured in China without proper lab testing in under 6 months. Right.
Yep. That's
Right.
correct.
We're talking about the COVID.
It takes years to be able to
COVID.
develop a proper vaccine.
Yeah.
This is CJ from the Spark, but who will arrest the big pharma dealers and what legacy media is
They never
not
will.
bought by them? None of them.
None of
Right.
them.
Nobody will.
Nobody's gonna get arrested.
Just like Epstein, which we'll get to later.
And that's how I was telling you, like the El Chapo was running the same exact thing as the pharmaceutical people that are doing the same thing, because they'll give these doctors little freebies of like little pills of here, like say today, hey Mike, say I'm the pharmacist or whatever, and you're the doctor, and we'll be like, hey Mike, I'm gonna drop off 40 of these pills for free on me on the house, hand them out, and 40 of those people are gonna get hooked up on that shit. And then I'm gonna drop some more over at Vince's. Hey Vince, I'm gonna drop you a little stash of 20 of them or 40 of them, and it's just the exact same thing, you know. And it's just like,
well, they buy their way into market
For sure.
just like big pharma.
for sure,
Except big pharma goes even deeper into the medical schools. Again, on the Conspiracy Club, I'm sure you'll hear about, you know, the medical teachings, and just like you'll hear about lawyer, you know, legal end of it. But pharma is under federal radar. Well, yeah, but just like cartels, they buy their way into people's health systems.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, it's just normal. Like there's a
just think
pill
of-
for that. There's a
Think
pill
of
for that.
pharmaceuticals around here. What better target is a young doctor just came out of school that's in debt?
Yeah,
You know, hey, you know, you give them a kickback for pushing certain
but
prescriptions.
it's not even that. It's not even if they're not even getting the kickback, because I don't know if they are, but it's taught to them. It's in their program. They go to school for a long time, you know, and especially pharmacists, which you'll find two different kinds of pharmacists. Ones that are all for this, and then we know two, and only one I can get kind of a comment out of, and a very well-educated pharmacist. She thinks it's awesome. Definitely don't mandate it. You know, it might not be right for your kid
yeah.
or your religion, however you want to look at it. Follow the money. Joanne says pharma addicts, regular people. Pharma addicts. Yeah. They don't, no, they're not. The addicts are regular people, but the companies don't care about those people.
No, and then once those addicts become addict to these high expensive, you know, they can't afford it, so then they just move to something from the streets, and then it just keeps on going. It's just a cycle.
Let's see what else this guy's got to say.
Yeah, every last one of them, all of them.
Yeah, all of
Every last one of them. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body? Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? I don't have that right. Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body,
Now, it's important to know he's not saying don't do it. But
Right.
he's on the train of this is your
An option, not a mandate.
It's an option you can take.
is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right. Government does not have that right. They want you to believe they have that right. And unfortunately, you know, they've been successful.
Yeah, and because they breed it into the doctors. Very rarely do you have a doctor like this or Rand Paul or someone come out and say you should be able to choose, because a lot of them, you know, you can get into that whole cross. Maybe John knows what the cross with the snake is, and you know, the medical symbol you see
Right.
on like all the paramedics and stuff
I think
like
it's
that.
a snake or a rattlesnake or something.
It's
like
some kind of serpent. You know,
Yeah.
it represents things. I don't know. I'm not an expert again, but you know, there's a lot of doctors who just think, you know, they don't care about individual. They're just thinking about health care as a whole, you know, and as a collective. You know, they think of it, and I hate to say it, like a socialist kind of way or a communist kind of way. But that was Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo. And he announced the elimination of all vaccine mandates in the state, labeling them as government overreach akin to slavery, which, I mean, hey, we hear that about other things that has nothing to do with slavery. So why not apply it where it counts? Governor Ron DeSantis backed the decision as part of Florida Make America Healthy Again initiative, emphasizing personal freedom and parental choice, while supporters hail it as a victory for autonomy. Public health experts warn of potential outbreaks of preventable diseases like measles and polio, drawing sharp criticisms from figures like California Governor Gavin Newsom, of course, douchebag, and igniting social media uproar with over 931,000 engagements just on X. That was as of 47 minutes ago. So again, Florida leading the way, and probably you won't see this in California. You're not going to get this in New York, and you're not going to get it in Chicago and whatnot. It's just not going to happen. But Florida is rocking it. Yeah, Joanne says Florida is rocking it with these great leaders focusing on liberty. And that's what I feel like. They're pumping out some great future leaders that hopefully don't fade away and leave government. And hopefully they move to different positions.
MAGA is strong in Florida right now.
MAGA or MAHA, whatever you want to call it, as long as they're for personal freedoms and liberty, you call it what you want. I like to call it MAGA, but people, whatever. Another thing in Florida, again, which I have mixed feelings about this. I mean, I don't want to pay more than what I should, but there's Ron DeSantis again is in the media pushing the property tax issue. Like he wants to do away with property taxes in Florida, which is a big deal. Like you shouldn't have to, like you buy property, like he says, we'll let him say it too. But you buy something, you shouldn't have to keep paying the government just to be able to keep owning it. You already own it.
Right.
Why do you have to keep paying a tax on it just because it happens to be somewhere? Like it does. It makes it seem, it plays into that system, especially the people who want to claim sovereignty, which we had one at the Conspiracy Club. It plays into that mindset that government, you can, we're slaves to their system. Here's Ron. Let Ron. Leo, you're a property owner. Vince, you're a property owner. We're all property owners, and we also enjoy what our local municipalities can provide for us. So let's let DeSantis talk about it.
With property tax, but it's not something I can just ask the legislature, hey, cut the millage, do this, do that, because they don't have constitutional authority to do the local taxes. That is your counties and your cities. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a question on the ballot that is going to allow Floridians to be able to vote themselves relief from property tax. And as I said, my vision is, if you own your home, to truly own it, you have to own it free and clear of the government. You shouldn't have to pay rent to the government. And, there'll be people that are, buying investment properties, like fine, like that's different. There's differences, but your personal home, we really believe should not be subject to tax. It's an unrealized gain. And I'm just one that's like, if you tax me at point of sale, like I buy a car and I pay a sales tax on it, but like for me to then just, pay a tax on the value every now, cars usually when you drive them off the lot go down. Now during COVID, the cars actually went up in value. You'd buy a car, there was such a shortage that you could drive it off the lot and then you could even flip it for $5,000-$10,000 profit because there was such a rush to buy vehicles. But that's our vision. So. And of course, so what do people say? Oh, that can't be done. You can't do that. And my question is why can't it be done? Look, the first place we went to with these audits was Broward County, Florida. They got 1.9 million people. They've had no net population growth over the last 5 years. Their budget's increased 60%.
So, Joanne, she feels you should own it once it's paid off. Pay property taxes during the mortgage loan. Once it's paid off, it's ours. That I can get behind.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the only reason why I would restrict it to that. Leo, what do you think about property taxes?
I think that if I worked my entire life to own this house, to own this property, and I'm 60, 75 years old or whatever years old, and I still have to pay property taxes for something that I worked my entire life, or not even my entire life, say just now, like if you pay it, like if it's yours, you know, like Joanne says, like if you have no mortgage, no nothing, I understand it. It's yours. You're done. Like you still gotta pay for. You still have to pay for something that's like, it's mine. So is it really mine or not? Because if it's not mine, I'm not gonna pay you anything.
So do you think
know?
you should just pay the sales tax when you buy it and be done, or property tax when you buy it?
Yeah, pay your property taxes when you buy it and you're done.
I'm okay with like what Joanne said, where it's something maybe that's tied into your mortgage
during the term of the mortgage.
But on first glance, it's like, okay, no more property taxes sounds great. But the only concern that I do have is Florida will get so populated from people not having to pay property taxes.
Yeah, but you have to own it though. It has to be yours.
Right. But I'm saying if you didn't pay property taxes,
you mean own it outright?
Own it outright.
Once you own it outright,
once you own it outright, then you're done. But if you don't own it outright yet,
you pay a tax on the balance.
You pay a tax
like
on
an interest.
like an
interest on the loan,
like
except it's a tax on the
right.
So they're going to tax mortgage loans. You're going to have less people buying houses.
Okay, but that's going to make more people want to finish and pay it off that mortgage so that they don't keep paying for that.
Well, that makes sense too.
You know?
My biggest problem with the property tax idea is a lot of your municipalities are funded by
bullshit. My bad. Man.
You know, a lot of these counties' income is property tax. They fund, you know, and they approve the budgets of the other offices like the sheriff's department, the tax collector, or you know, the clerk of court, I believe.
Where they're going to make up
supervisor of elections,
right?
Which I can get into what an election can cost, and then just, you know, so where does this money come from once they take away property tax?
Right.
Does your sheriff's department get $92 million when there are no more property taxes?
Okay. But another thing too, though, Mike, like people's property taxes is based on a different thing, like what your property is valued to, you know, or whatever you have on there is valued to, you know. Like I could have the same house as my neighbor or whatever, and they could be paying a whole different property taxes than me. Like that's not fair for me, and that's not fair for anybody else.
I mean,
you know,
I don't think that becomes a property tax anymore. I think talking about what we are would be more like a mortgage loan tax rather than a property tax. I mean, by definition, I mean, there doesn't have to be a property tax that exists, but I just feel like that you're not going to be able to fund.
Yeah, like
where's those millions of dollars that's going to our local?
So what do you see instead?
Where's it going to come from?
You're going to see a rise in business tax. You know, they're going to have to try to attract businesses first of all, but you're going to have to charge them more tax, because they got to replace that income. Sales tax, you can see sales tax go up. I'm not an expert in it, but I don't know where else they would make up this money. Like I said, the sheriff's department now is getting like 72 million. They want 92 million or something like that.
Return the recycling bins back.
Yeah. In our county, they're forcing everybody. Gave everybody new bins and make some pay for garbage in their taxes. Some people, though, across the country might not have any idea what the hell we're talking about.
But
you put your trash out and they come and get it.
Used to be, if you signed up for it, it cost you roughly $10 a month. I think it was like $11 a month, $33 like every 3 months. Now I don't have to pay that anymore. I don't have to go into waste management and pay the $30.
You're not paying Tony Soprano. They're just taking it out your taxes.
But now I'm paying $200 and something a year for it out of my taxes. So I'm paying, actually, I think it might have been more. It like tripled. I'm paying triple what I used to. I just don't know it because it's coming out of my taxes, or at least most people don't even realize it.
Yeah. Joanne says gas tax. Gas on what? Like natural gas or gasoline at the gas station?
Gas pumps, probably. Yeah.
I don't want any more tax on that.
No, but I mean,
I think over half of it's already taxed.
Yeah, I mean, she's saying kind of like what you were saying. Everything out, the taxes for everything's going to go up. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, absolutely, gasoline will be one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think, but whatever. I mean, find a different way.
It sounds good on the surface. It does. It's going to make a lot of people happy, but is it really going to be beneficial when everything we buy, the taxes is going up to make up for it? Because they're probably going to raise the taxes on everything to get more money, not less than what they're getting now.
Well, yeah, they're definitely going to make up for it somehow. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how it works. Like, we have the hospital district, the mosquito district, the water district. If you're in city limits, you got city this, city that, and it's just like
Animal control. You got all kinds of stuff. I mean,
but I mean, the actual things you're taxed on,
yeah,
all that stuff comes out of one of those others. But it's just, I mean, how much more can they raise the taxes in other places to make up for property tax? I think there should be other ways of generating and encouraging businesses, and especially where we are, tourist money.
you know,
I mean, some of these people that work for the city, Mike, shouldn't be making what they're making. I'm just saying. You know,
I don't know what they're making.
some of these people that work for the city, they be banking. They be making.
I think you're right on some
They
of them.
be
and
making
then
a lot of money for the things for the work that they do.
I'm
just saying.
I'm sure you're correct on some of them, but I'm sure there's some of them that are definitely underpaid as well too.
And that's where I was going to go to. You know, like, just cut the people that are getting overpaid. Be like, hey, listen, man, like, it's just,
We need Elon
Yeah.
For what?
where's he at? You
to
don't need
cut
him.
the budget.
We can figure it out ourselves right here. Just show us the papers. Give us the binders.
That's it. I was just checking our stream. At least we
yeah.
know it's working.
Did you bring up binders?
Half hour later.
City pay sucks. That comes from Joanne.
Yeah,
Joanne
for
works
sure.
for
I'm
the city.
sure.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's crazy to think we live in the fifth richest county on the East Coast, and our deputies in this county are probably the worst paid in South Florida. Our teachers are probably the worst paid in South Florida. Now our administrators are probably some of the highest paid. I know our school board, our school superintendent makes with his the benefits and all is making close to, if not more, of the president of the United States. So definitely more than senators and representatives.
Talking about Dr. Moore.
Yes. So I mean, these in little old Indian River County, Florida, but there's a lot of money here. Just where is it at?
In his pocket. It's in the wrong
It's
people's
in
pocket.
Who else?
It's in the
All
wrong
the
people's
NGOs.
pocket.
The county gets a lot of revenue from
Yeah.
town, but it goes to different areas. But let's go to Warrior Shield Foundation. We'll go ahead and play that ad right now.
The Warrior Shield Foundation proudly presents Warrior Weekend, a 3-day event from September 5th through September 7th at the Rosen Center in beautiful Orlando, Florida, which honors and supports the Corporal Chad Eric Oleg Schlager Foundation for PTSD, raising awareness and resources for its vital mission to help our most valuable heroes, our veterans. This powerful weekend will feature live performances by country music recording artist Ryan Weaver.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone.
American Idol runner-up Bo Bice.
Tired of looking down roads, wondering what I gotta do, who I'm supposed to be. I don't wanna be anything other than me.
Christian contemporary and country artist Natasha Owens.
God and country strong, give me a cowboy who knows left from right from wrong. I'll be
Florida native and national recording artist Sean Holcomb.
you just watch your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about.
addition to all of the musical artists performing at the event, meet John Tig Tigan and Dave Boone Benton. Two true American heroes who stood their ground and defeated armed terrorists on September 11th, 2012, in Benghazi, Libya. Not only can you meet Tig and Boone, but you can spend the day at the range, shooting and learning from the best of the best. Another hero that you will not want to miss is Colonel Gregory Gadsden, an American actor and motivational speaker, and a retired colonel and former commander in the United States Army. Colonel Gadsden is also a bilateral, above-the-knee amputee who served in the Army for 25 years of active duty as a field artillery officer. Nowhere else will you be able to meet this all-star lineup while supporting our veterans and first responders. This is an event of a lifetime, and one you do not want to miss. Get your tickets now, online, at warriorshield.org, and support those who fought and sacrificed so much for all of us.
Okay, so you saw that emblem at the end, that logo for the Corporal Chad O Foundation.
Right.
I know Joanne, this will touch Joanne. And if you pay attention to these stories and the mental health of what some of our veterans and first responders go through, just a little bit of help could go a long way, and it could change somebody's day altogether. This one is about a minute longer than the last one, but please stick with it. This is what this weekend and this whole year for Warrior Shield Foundation is going to be supporting, and this explains it a whole lot more. So even if you can't make it, if you can donate at warriorshield.org, check them out. But here is more on the Corporal Chad O Foundation.
Corporal Chad Oligschlager served his country with honor, courage, and unwavering dedication to his fellow Marines. But like so many of our brave servicemen and women, Chad faced an unseen battle, one that tragically took his life. His story is not unique, and that's why the Corporal Chad Oligschlager Foundation was created, to ensure that no veteran suffers in silence. Our mission is clear: to raise awareness about the mental health crisis among veterans, provide access to life-saving resources, and offer direct support to those who have sacrificed so much for our freedom. From peer mentorship programs to crisis intervention to treatment without harmful medications, the Corporal Chad O Foundation is committed to making a difference, because every veteran deserves hope, healing, and the chance to live a fulfilling life. Our heroes fought for us. Now it's time for us to fight for them. Join the mission, donate, and get involved, because together we can save lives. Visit cplchado.org today and stand with those who stood for us.
Yeah, maybe it was embedded in the last one. We're back. Yeah. So that's where I'll be on Friday night. Leo will be in the area. We're hoping to do a live.
Yeah, we'll be. I'll be in the area. I'm hoping to be able to connect with Mike and connect with somebody else.
Yeah, Joanne's gonna be there for the concert.
Hopefully everything connects.
We've got some friends meeting us there too. Possibly John. I don't know. John's hockey team made it to the playoffs, so I don't know if we'll see John. Hopefully we do, but we'll definitely run into Dale and Jim from Two Guys and One Coup. They're doing their show there on Friday and Saturday, so hopefully we can meet up. Hopefully the water's not too strong and changes all our plans. But anyways, if you're in the area, make sure you shoot us a message if you don't see us. But it's going to be cool meeting these guys in person. We know each other, Dale and Jim. We've been friends, I think, online and in this realm for a year or two now, in one way or another. I think we started following them about a year or two ago, and then
we were on the same on network.
yeah, they pulled us over to
Patriots Prayer Network.
the Patriots Prayer Network, where we were part of a good group of people, and it just kind of, both shows actually took a different direction. Some priorities changed. We left.
It was
the
cool.
Patriots
It was
Prayer
cool
Network.
being on there. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a fallout like you'll
Yeah.
see from Alex Jones and Alan right, what's his name, Schroyer. I don't know if you watch War Room, but
They were switching over to another.
another platform.
Platform.
Yeah, and we just can't. I mean, we do other stuff too. So this show is just a part of our bigger picture. So it was hard to grant exclusivity to this show when we're part of a company. So it kind of, if anybody, which it helped. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't a benefit, but and I'm not saying I wouldn't work with the Patriots Prayer again, but we just couldn't commit at that time. So
Anyways, they were good people,
Yeah.
and they moved on. We
we still stuck with Dale and Jim as
For sure.
friends. They're on a different network now, FuryCast, which we saw Chris. I think Chris. I want to, or is it Mike? I don't know, man. I you know me with names, I lose them real quick. And but anyways, I'm looking forward to meeting Dale and Jim this weekend, and whoever else we might run into. I know definitely people from the Warrior Show Foundation that we've seen on air. It'll be kind of like, seeing a movie star. I see them on Dale and Jim's show all the time, and they have great stories. And you'd be rubbing shoulders with them at the concert because they're just out there, just like you and I, waiting for their set. So Bo Bice and those other Natasha Owens and all those great artists that are independents and they're patriots and stuff like that. So a great area to be in. And none of us here served, so I definitely have that willingness to support them because they're those veterans and first responders.
It's a certain different kind of breed.
Yeah, it's I just didn't have the cojones, and I still don't. I'd like to think I did.
I always wanted to go into the military.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a badass fucking. I don't know. I don't just.
Yeah, it sounds good until bullets are flying at you.
Oh yeah.
Or somebody's beating you up.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get beat up. Anyways, I hate the segue from getting beat up, but if you watch the news, the Epstein girls, what do we got? We got what? 8 minutes left. We're not going to cover all the videos, but if you watch the news at all, I hate to keep
Mike, there's
beating
no
this
time
dead
on this.
horse. I know we don't have no time limits, but the Epstein saga is not going to go away, and like Trump says, it's beating a dead horse. This guy just will not die. But the victims came out today, and to be honest with you, not even sure why. Maybe it was just hey, we're getting together. For all I know, they could be getting together to write a book or sell their stories to help them. I'm not saying it's malicious. I'm just saying I don't really know why they're out here with us now, but it is refreshing because we're not just hearing it from Trump, which a lot of us who support Trump kind of didn't like his response to this not going away, but hearing it from some of the victims in their way, like the whole Epstein list thing, like there's no list, and that's what they're saying. I'm not saying. They're saying there is no list. This guy wasn't making a list of clients. He was abusing hundreds of women himself. Yes, he did traffic them to his friends, like probably former presidents or prime ministers or software company CEOs. But it wasn't like we saw Heidi Klum client list years and years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but she was an escort. So they're trying to say it wasn't like that. There are victims, and these victims come out today, and we have some of their story. Let's see how much we can get through.
and thank you all for being here.
I'll go first and then I'll let them. They're much more important than me, but I don't understand why it's a hostile act. I can tell you that I talked to President Trump back in 2009, and several times after that, he didn't think that it was a hoax then. In fact, he helped me. He got on the phone. He told me things that were helping our investigation. Now, our investigation wasn't...
To be clear, though, I think Trump did not do himself good service in his explanation of the hoax. Is it a hoax? Like, we know Epstein's not a hoax. We know there's real victims. We know there's bad people involved. But when referring to a list, I think Trump was telling you and telling me, if you have a list, you can't trust it, because the Democrats have had their hands on this for how long?
Right.
And not released it. So how can nothing on that list is credible? So that's what he was saying. If I find it credible, we'll give it out.
I feel like I don't believe there's a list. If there was a list, it would have been out by now.
Or it would have been fabricated.
Right. So I don't believe there's a list, because like it would either be out or they would have been a fake list and Trump's name would have been on it.
Okay, so what are they scared of? If there is a list, put it out.
Well, that's just it. I don't think there is a list.
I think there is a list.
And if one comes out, it's
well.
fake.
I think there's evidence. I
think there is a list. It's just somebody is being a hostile because they know at the right time when to release the list, and they are going to hold on to that fucking list for a long time.
It's not so much that, it's judges interject themselves in their court in Justice Department, which is executive branch business. We see that constantly since Trump took office. They'll do one thing, and then some district court judge or federal judge over here will say, "No, you can't do that." And then, it's illegal. It's lawfare.
I think to me, all this is just somebody is scared.
I don't think there's a list.
I don't think it's scared. I think it's power. He who holds the list or the evidence, the name. Because you can get like Trump said, it's a hoax. So unless you have evidence, a name means nothing. And right now, how much evidence can you trust with AI? But either way, unless you have something to back up a name, you can't trust anything now. The Russian hoax was a big deal. Was a big freaking deal. All the pardons, the auto pen, big deal.
So even if a list came out right now, nobody's going to believe the list.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't believe it. Why should you?
Right.
But now they say that. But last year they didn't say that.
Well, to be honest with you, I can't make excuses for them. Last year, our people didn't have the access they do this year either. As Joanne says, this is a delicate issue. There are powerful people that can do bad things. Some of these ladies are in danger. Revealing what they know is huge. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've watched any of these, but these ladies are organizing, and I wouldn't doubt it if they have some protection. Let's let them finish. Hold on. I've got a few more too.
Looking into him, but he was helping us then. He didn't treat this as a hoax. So at this point in time, I would hope that he would revert back to what he was saying to get elected, which is, I want transparency. This about face that occurred, none of us understand it. In fact, I don't understand how this is an issue that's even up for debate. How do you not stand behind these women after you've heard their stories and know that hundreds of them were abused, and it was only because files are being kept in secrecy? The world should know who he is, who protected him, and the other...
I was living in California, a young woman with high aspirations of becoming an actress. I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry. A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience, and when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life, and that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless...
Notice, not even a... nothing, because it's no surprise.
I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see everyone around us.
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on for.
That's crazy. And like Joanne said, it's a very delicate issue, and big people in big, powerful positions can do something here. And this is what exactly when that came to mind is when I heard this woman speak.
Garcia's justice, release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law. And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that. Because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us. Thank you.
Did you hear what she said? What did she just say?
Who will come after us? Survivors.
The women that'll
for
come after.
survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that. Because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us. Thank you.
Yeah, DT said exactly what I was thinking. Like, what is this about? Like, is this really about a book?
Right.
Which I'm okay with. If it's going to help support these women, okay. But I hope. I mean, they're playing in a game.
So
not a game. That's not a game. But a lot of these people in power, and when you have a lot of power and you're threatened with losing it, they become desperate.
And here's the thing: even if they compile a list of their own, the women that say they were victims, can you believe it? Can you believe anything in this world anymore? So it's like, I'm not saying that they would make up a complete list, but would they possibly throw a name on the list if they were paid to?
Well, hopefully
keep a name off.
Hopefully not. But
hopefully not.
I mean, a woman scorned. I mean, hopefully there's still integrity there. I mean, the whole Me Too movement kind of ruined it for women, I believe, because a lot of them were exposed for jumping on a bandwagon. I hate to say that, because you want to automatically believe the female, the victim, you know, and maybe it's exaggerated, maybe it's not, but either way, there's evidence of who's been on these flight logs. Now, I'm not saying because you were on this chartered jet from one area to another, maybe even at the same time,
women,
right? Because that's how things kind of worked at one point. But you know, when you're spending a lot of time and you're on the flight logs to the island, and it's corresponding with maybe somebody else's testimony, I mean, everybody can connect the dots. So, and so far, the consensus is none of them had anything to do with Donald Trump, other than what Epstein says. Bragged about being his friend. He was a name dropper. He was all about status. He wasn't as organized as we would like to think. You know?
I could have been like, oh yeah, I know Vince Scafetta. I know who that is. Yeah, he's my friend. But that didn't mean that Vince interacted and did what.
I mean, I was hanging around with him at the time.
Yeah. Hey, DT. No hate, man. We're
know.
glad you made it, even though you're late. Definitely a good show tonight. I think. Make sure you check out what you missed. But what were you saying, Leo?
Just because Vince and I are friends doesn't mean that Vince is going to interact with the same things that I'm doing when we don't hang out.
Right. Different friend groups.
But then again, if I was that friend that's being framed, I'd be like, show him. Take the fucking list out. Show him. I ain't scared. If I know I didn't do anything, and if I know I have nothing to be ashamed of, I'd be like, show it, man. Like, I don't give a shit. You saying that it was me, and you say it was me? Go ahead. Show it.
I mean, I understand a lot of that stuff has to do. There's a lot of victims' names involved, but that's you can't tell me they can't remove victim names.
No,
they still show but now here's the problem: a lot of the perpetrators were victims. A lot of the traffickers involved in these schemes are victims also.
Right.
So one girl might be convinced her key to survivalist success is to bring in more girls, like a pyramid scheme.
They pretty much already put Bill Clinton's name on the list.
Well,
she didn't.
We know they spent a lot of time together.
Right. I mean, she didn't say that she was raped by Bill Clinton, but
I do want to mention DT before we go. He said, did anyone mention Alex Jones? Where'd it go? Alex Jones has a kill switch on the Epstein files. I don't really watch Alex Jones. I know who he is. I do know he's having a big drama fight with his number 2 guy, Schroyer there. I don't watch him either. So, yeah. Oddly enough about Alex Jones, laugh at him because he's very emotional, like Glenn Beck. But they've both been right about almost every frickin' thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, except for the things they were really wrong on. Most of the time, they're both pretty right. The one girl said if she ended up unlived, said she just knows it wasn't suicide. She isn't with us on Earth anymore. Yeah, you're talking about Virginia Guthrie. We did a segment on her a couple times, actually. She's the one who died. She was the one who came out against Prince Andrew, and she's the one who was off in Australia on a rural road.
Like that,
well, she had other problems, but she was in a car wreck. Somehow this RV or this bus come from across the road out in the middle of nowhere and offed her on a rural road with no reason why. But absolutely, if Trump was on that list, it would have already been released. Yep. Now I read that Trump is scorning those GOP members who are voting to get the list released. Well, I mean, here's the problem. It's not all about their vote either. We have to do something about the judges, because so far, anything they tried to release, like the transcripts, judges have gotten in the way of that stuff. So hit by that bus in a barren area. Yeah, like rural Australia is like countryside Iowa. You know, it's there's no reason for a bus to hit her on the other side of the road. What else do we have? That's pretty much all I got. But my question is, what are these women going to do with the information? Are they just going to do an expose? Are they going to sell it? What are they going to do with it? You know, of course, there's going to be somebody handling somebody. So I question everybody's motive, especially when there could be money involved. I'm not saying they don't deserve it or they can't do something good with it, but that's my thoughts on that. You guys got anything to add before we call Riley? Yeah, right. We have to make sure Riley comes out tonight. But that's all I got. Next week is are we here next week?
Club. Nope.
No, we're not here next week. So you catch us on we'll do a live probably on our channel. What are they talking about? Sell it to Star Magazine. Movie, yeah. A 3-point miniseries.
Oh,
3-part.
Guarantee you somebody's going to make a movie about the Epstein.
Well, they already have. They've already made documentaries. But anyways, next week we won't be on Wednesday. Catch us on the Conspiracy Club on Thursday, right?
Yep.
That's next week?
Yep.
Is it already that time of September?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. So it would have been episode 131. Maybe we'll call it 132. I don't know. We'll see what the hell happens. Friday night.
131,
Yeah.
131.5.
Wherever you are following us, make sure you hit that like and bell button so you get notified when we do go live, because Friday night we'll be planning to do the same thing. So I'm going to let these guys go because all they do is sit down all day. So they're ready to stand up. So
Yeah, for sure.
anyways,
Hey, we're out, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Podcast warriors say they're afraid to shout. Make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise. Fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate. Let's BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truce to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night. Fight the woke mob, cancel that crying. Truth on the mic while they keep lying. They wanna cancel, they wanna control, but we got the truth, we breaking the mold. Speak your mind, don't let them bind. Words cut through, sharper than a sword of kind. Senses just raw, no filter to stop. Voices rise up from the bottom to top.